Hello, my name is Blake Bertuccelli-Booth. I am the University of Illinois Chicago's Assistant Director of Digital Accessibility Engineering. I've also been working in ML and EDU technology for over a decade now. Today I'm going to present a survey of AI in K through 12 primary schools in the US. This presentation was kind of made to talk about what's on the cutting edge right now, right here. Um, so to get started, I just wanted to quickly define the difference between AI and Gen AI. There is now legal definitions that distinguish these two things. And a lot of times when people talk about AI, they're really meaning Gen AI. And then when companies talk about AI, they're really meaning something like a complex algorithm. So to not get it confused, can really be a complex algorithm. There are a lot of tools out there currently that market themselves as AI tools, but all they're doing is crunching lots of numbers. They're not actually generating new content that is completely unexpected and tuned to whatever was prompted to it. So tools like Amira are one of them, or some of the Khan Academy suite. They consider themselves AI, but they're not doing a lot of the generative information or generative crunching that we would see usually. Whereas Gen AI applications are doing the generative crunching. That's like ChatGPT. Um, that's when you don't really know what you're going to expect when you put in information. And the content that is created is new content. It's completely generated. So I'll mostly say AI, but what I really want to focus on is the idea of Gen AI. We're not seeing right now a lot of educational applications that are truly end-to-end Gen AI. A lot of them are mostly using just complex algorithms. And that's an issue, and that's something that I hope to change. I hope to see more Gen AI throughout the K through 12 education space because that allows for that type of ultra personalized, tutor-like application in education. I have QR codes throughout this presentation. You can pick up your phone and check out the QR codes. This QR code links to a definition that Seed AI put together that kind of distinguishes the two. I think it's really good to look at. And I have to tell folks on the forefront that I am really a proponent of Gen AI when I talk about AI. I want to see applications that are completely honed and new for the user or the student as they're using it. So my background, like I was saying, is I am working at UIC right now. I'm also the innovator in residence at Louisiana Innovation, which is a division of Louisiana Economic Development. I founded something called the 1111 Philosophers Group. That's where I've done most of my recent education pieces. That's a purely philanthropic project. So for the last, I would say about 3 or 4 years, I've been working with different Gen AI tools in classrooms. It started when I started to see that OpenAI had models that would work and be really, really cool. Going to a classroom called our school called the Living School in New Orleans and getting started with students that were some of the most disenfranchised and disadvantaged students in America, and giving them these tools and watching them do some amazing work with it. And fast forward to today, almost 4 years later, where I'm starting to see exactly how these tools can be used in a more standardized approach. I'll talk about it in a little bit. Um, but what we're seeing right now is political leaders getting on and being excited about some of this work. We did see for a long time the conversation was around ethics and safeguards and safety. And now the buzzwords are ambitious investment, removing precautionary thinking. So we're starting to see the political leaders push for more investment in this space and less kind of hesitancy. This is in line with some of the data that I've been seeing. Um, and it shows that actually a minority opinion is worried about the use of data and future existential threat. It still is a worry, and it should not be totally discounted, but it is a minority worry. There is a lot of optimism around what this can be done, and students are actively using it right now. So it doesn't necessarily serve a lot of teachers to block it and stop it. We're seeing the fastest integration of new technology into the classroom with this Gen AI, with ChatGPT or Chat, as a lot of students call it, um, helping students do work. And that has to be embraced and worked with. Michael Kratsios, who's on this slide, he's the White House official who's kind of in charge with pushing a lot of this. And again, if you watch the linked video, he's really talking about how do we have ambitious investment? How do we move forward? How do we get ahead? This is a really important time to do that because we only have a finite window where we can really be the ones who invent the future. Otherwise, other countries or organizations will do that and we will be playing catch up. Right now, we can really be the ones inventing the future. Um, so we really want to jump on board with that idea. We're starting to see these types of concepts marketed through education. The most prominent model is AlphaSchool. So AlphaSchool promises quote unquote 2 hour learning, and it's AI learning. Um, and so, but one of the things to note with AlphaSchool is again, they're using the word AI, but it's not necessarily generative AI. The students are not actively engaging with new content that's created for them as they work and as they have difficulty and depending on their moods. But it is nice to see this information being used and marketed because you can see the growth of this concept. And hopefully, what will happen is some of the marketing language will be turned into real action-oriented innovation. That's where I hope this goes. So if you look at AlphaSchool, and I've linked here to a review of AlphaSchool that's very good. Uh, they see a lot of potential in the idea of reducing classroom standards learning time so that you're increasing time on what they call life skills, but it's really more student focused and student guided work. Um, and so Alpha School is really heavily focused on how do we reduce the amount of time focused on standards as possible, but give the same outcomes that a student would. So they are promising in 2 hours, their students get what other students would get in 6 or 8 hours. This is all possible with hyper-focus, personalized generative AI learning. And I think that they're on the right track. We just need to really make sure that the technology is actually what is promised. So you're not doing things like a lot of what Alpha School is doing is they're using a Mira or Khan Academy or existing software and just getting very privileged students to focus on working on the software. I can see a future where we're using whole new types of software that is more like a one-on-one tutor than like a prescriptive software. Um, there are currently AI policies in 23 states. I've read through all of them. You can look at a deep dive that I created with Google Notebook on it that kind of overviews it all. Lots of these were created when AI was a buzzword and people kind of saw that it was going to do something. Um, so they're not the most informative of policies. They're not the most innovative of policies. They're taking a lot of what education has done with technology in the past and applying it to AI. I think that is the wrong perspective. We should really be treating generative AI as something wholly new and different and work with public-private partners to figure out how this can lead to student success versus saying this is like a calculator or like Google, and we have to prescribe the same policies around that, which most of these do. So, I would say it's really exciting that, again, that 23 states have used the word AI and brought some type of understanding of this into a central policy framework. But would caution that we really need to take a deeper and more comprehensive look at how these tools can help students and really focus on the idea that this is a whole new type of technology. This is not like a calculator or like Google. This is more like a robot or a individualized learning tool that can really be a partner in learning with both the teacher and the student, playing a key role in facilitating the education. So great that states are doing lots of work to think about AI and talk about AI, but I hope that they really focus on it as a whole new technology and new opportunity to engage and help their students be at the vanguard of public-private work. I wrote a report for Louisiana Innovation, again, the Division of Louisiana Economic Development, on AI in the classroom and put some recommendations forward, mostly that we should give grants to students and teachers and administrators who want to do stuff with us, who are the innovators, and let them do it and see what they do, and then create policy and product around the material that they create. And so you can read this white paper. It's linked here. It was written for the Trump administration. Um, and it really kind of focuses again on recommending grants and the idea that we should give as much unrestricted funds as possible to educators, even students, to explore this work, and they should be defining where it is, because I would love to see the next wave of innovation in education around educators versus companies or outside organizations. I've worked with some really good educators. In fact, behind me here is a picture of Rebecca from Franklin. Rebecca is a statistics teacher who is just like super excited about AI and wanted to be one of those early vanguard creators. And she made an amazing program at Franklin and launched it to create an AI playbook at a high school. And next to Rebecca is another great innovator, Josh Fleeg, who's the director of innovation at Louisiana Economic Development. And Josh is one who's able to really push these forward because he gives a lot of creative license to folks who are at the vanguard and saying, you know what, we don't know what's going on yet, and you are experimenting. Let's just let you experiment, give you the resources to experiment, and then build programs and policies around what's working. It doesn't cost that much to experiment, and the outcomes are big. So we want this high risk, high reward investment. That's what my kind of central thesis is around. Um, I should also note something that just came out literally today. And I am, Louisiana lover, Louisiana son, but I'm also really excited about Louisiana because they are at the vanguard of a lot of this work. Um, they are some of the first to publish policies around this work. They've bought many thousands of Khan Academy and Amira subscriptions to students. They're testing it, they're looking at it. And just today, um, uh, Ronnie Morris, who's the president of the BESI, which is kind of the Board of Education in Louisiana, put together a resolution that, if it's adopted and as it works through the Board of Education, would really position Louisiana as the most innovative, ambitious state in the nation around AI and education. And I could see it attracting a lot of innovators like me because it basically says we want to work with folks at the vanguard of AI, and we want to partner with both the public-private organizations and educators and bring them together and really make something that is going to give our students a leg up in this kind of AI generation. I'm very, very optimistic about what Louisiana is doing. I have been looking at lots of other nations and other states. Massachusetts is doing a lot of good stuff. The governor there put a lot of money towards state funded AI research that I think is really exciting. Illinois is also doing some really good work. Um, a lot of the early AI in the classroom techniques and pedagogical approaches. We've gotten from a few schools in Illinois that were really thinking about it at the forefront before a lot of other schools started to catch on. But Louisiana is doing it at a statewide level. The governor, the president of the school board, so many folks are on board with this, and not only saying they're on board, but pushing forward resolutions like the one linked here, that really push collaboration outside of just working in an insular school board. And this is why I'm so excited about Louisiana and why I've been paying so much of attention to it. It's very, very cool to be a fly on the wall and seeing AI and a new technology really work for the students of a state, and that's what's happening in Louisiana. So I highly suggest you read the resolution, look up Ronnie Morris, follow what Bessie is doing. It's a pretty exciting time uh, for a technology. And it's one of the few times where I think legislators are working in close lockstep to the innovation that's happening in the private sector. So highly suggest following Bessie. Um, for what we're doing now, so I've, like I said, started to formalize a lot of the experiments that we've been doing over the last 3.5 years. And when I say we, I've been working collaboratively with a host of different educators, students, ML experts. It's been under the guise of a uh, group that I have called the 1111 Philosophers Group. Um, but what we're starting to do is formalize AI literacy training. So we really want to pull together a distinct program that can be used in the classroom in a very efficient manner, um, that will meet computer science standards in Louisiana and nationwide. But most importantly, that it really efficiently gives students, whoever they are, a leg up on understanding and working with AI. And so we developed a 3-day kind of crash course workshop. It's a 18-hour curriculum that we hope can scale into all sorts of cool opportunities, whether it's a class that's taught throughout a semester once a week, or it's like the crash course we did in these pictures with STEM NOLA. We want to create something that gives students that ability to say they understand this technology through and through from a technical to a marketing standpoint, and that they are ready and equipped to use these tools in the workplace. Um, the cool thing about our program is at the end of the 18 hours, students have projects that they can put in their portfolios or their CVs that are professional ML projects that have been vetted by us, developed by us, and like the students can really explain everything that's going on. It covers all the core concepts from vibe coding to um, prompt engineering to looking at different kind of Python-based languages and how we can develop new technology on that. So it covers a full gamut. And I'm really excited to build this first in Louisiana because Louisiana is the most ahead, I think, in bringing AI into the classroom and then scaling it throughout the US. And also not just focusing on AI literacy, but eventually really figuring out ways to bring Gen AI to all core concepts from language arts to science to math. We would really love to build an entire platform that starts with AI literacy and scales to every subject that is a Gen AI education platform. That's my goal and my vision is to build a truly Gen AI from the beginning to the end platform because that platform is going to work like a one-on-one tutor that educators can have hands in, that students can feel enabled through, that parents can feel safe with. Um, that's the goal, and I think we can do that by starting with AI literacy and expanding from there. So again, my name is Blake Bertuccelli-Booth. I hope you got some information about this. If you have any questions at all or want additional information, you can email me, blake@philosophers.group. I'm happy to give any information at all. I'm an open book. So this is a really exciting time, and I hope you all are as excited as I am because this can really change change the playing field in the U.S. and the world for how our students know, learn, and choose what to do in life. So thanks again, Blake at philosophers.group if you need anything. Thanks.